Welcome to OWAD today. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring the essential human relationships expressions in Chinese. Okay, we talked about a father, son, and today we're going to talk about daughter, 女. And in today's language, 女, okay, again, simplified traditional, they look the same because that's already super simple. You cannot further simplify it much. And 女 in pronunciation here, notice the dot there, it pronounced as a U sound, which is not a default sound or is not a common sound for in English. I forgot English. Doesn't we have a U? Yeah, we can combine vowels to make that U sound, but that's one of the vowels, one of the six vowels in Chinese, and third tone, 女. Okay, daughter in the script language, which is summarized about 2,000 years ago, the dictionary depict 女 in this more curvious language. I mean, contemporary Chinese, it already forms, it's not a streamlined figure. It got volume in there, right? And it got a curvature in there. And in the 2,000 years ago script depiction of 女, especially has hips here, and this is supposed to be the two hands folding in front of you. So there are both physical features of female figure, and well, I don't exactly know culturally compared with English speaking, like a female figure, just by the look, the profile look of a gender difference, if hips were that emphasized in Chinese. And actually in Chinese, probably, I don't know, the female ideal body shape may not be as curvy as in English ideal. And also English is not a fixed thing too. Ideal human body shape change over time. So, there it's a fluid thing, so it's hard to compare. But up here, do want to point out that this curvature embedded in the language character itself to show that culturally, the difference of human body anatomy between female and male, between son and daughter, is fully aware. It's shown in that curvature. And then the behavior level expectation, you're supposed to be well behaved, have your hands folded and all that. I mean, in English, probably today's table manners, sitting up straight, don't have elbows, all that kind of disciplines or rules were imposed as a behavioral expectation of if you are properly raised. And same as in Chinese back then, so folded hands so that you're not fidgeting and all that was probably expected as what a daughter's behavior should be. Okay. And here is even more. 女子无才, the first row, the girl son. Well, in Chinese, we call children daughter as girl son. So son is the children's default gender. So when we say son, it means 子, it means child, generic child, genderless. But then it defaults to son. So when we say it's a daughter, we have to add a girl, just like a female scientist, okay? Scientist default is male. And when the scientist is a female, we have to add a female scientist to there, comparable to that. So in Chinese, we have to add girl or female in front of 子, child, female child, which is daughter. Okay. 无才, no talent. So 才 means you have the potential to develop yourself. 辨识得, simply is a virtue. Okay, so this is such a big contrast between the past. I probably wouldn't say it's even a full representation of how Chinese as a culture collectively to pin down females' role, gender role, as it is simply virtuous for girls, for girl son to have no talent. I mean, how is that even logical? Don't you want your population to be well educated, girls or daughters, so that you have a better defense or strength against another tribe or culture? Why you as a culture intentionally dwarf or uh, don't want to bring up the female, the half of the population, to their full potential, to fully develop themselves, to don't even display their talent. It's not logical, right? But that's one expression. So I'm not going to say, like, pin down that Chinese culture from the very beginning, that's the expectation. It could well be that some author, of course, is a male, and because literacy mostly among male population, way more than female. I mean, that was just a fact back then. And some male author just came up with this expression so that they can suppress the growth development of female so that they can feel stand taller than female counterpart. Could be, right? So it could well be some influential scholar at some point in history came up with this line. And then that was regarded as the tradition, as the author, as the fundamental or orthodox belief of Chinese. But me, I don't think culturally it's logical to deprive half of your population of human growth simply because of the gender, right? So in today's post-feminism movement era, that we already can see that females as those males, if they want to develop into a certain area, like female doctors, female scientists, they are just as much capable possible. We want to make it as possible to both genders. And we don't want to label females as you cannot, or you don't have the talent, or whatever bio determined or gender determined limitation on any of the genders of any potentials of, in all domains. But this is contemporary, but back at the beginning of Chinese culture, I don't think that's the core either, but I don't have proof. I only have this line in there that blatantly is diminishing females and depriving their full potential by lauding that no talent means virtual. I mean, how could that be? Okay. 窈窕淑女 is simply a Chinese idealized, I guess, you're not even dating, your marriage material. 窈窕淑女 means you're quiet, you're gentle, and okay, each character is translated as close as possible to projecting to English one word. It's quiet, gentle, limpid. So limpid means clear eye, like you don't have manipulative nature in you. It's easy to see what you want, what you need. Just make it simple. I guess that's the ideal from male perspective. Make their life easier. You want to handle or you want to deal with quiet, gentle, limpid girls. Not the opposite of that. Don't hand me complex or dramatic or roller coasting types. Give me simple, quiet, gentle type of woman. So that's 窈窕淑女. All right, so over here, quite some gender embedding over there. When we talk about such concept, daughter, eventually this daughter get to be generic, simply means female. And but here I'm displaying obviously a daughter That's writing being active, developing in all dimensions. And that's what new daughter is supposed to be. But I do have to acknowledge very gender biased views from Chinese culture, from their behavior folded hand in this character on character level means way back when at the beginning of creating character age, when we depict a daughter, that's the gender expectation. All the way to 女子无才便是德, such diminishing, depriving of female development. And two, two, the simplification of your ideal woman, which is quiet, gentle, and limpid, straightforward, easy to deal with, pleasant, right? All that expectations of this gender role are shown, proven in our culture, on our characters, on our expressions. And I acknowledge that. And I want to counter that with this girls having fun riding bike. All right, thank you for your time. See you another day.